Well, whoa, that was a great start. Good morning, kids. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing all right. Welcome to another Abyss. I am, of course, the Eternal Abyss. Hi. Hold on, let me get the microphone a little closer to my mouth here. Yeah, there we go. All right. So, as a premise, before I do the usual greets and all that kind of stuff and hellos and everything, I've been having some weird issues with the Wi-Fi. I don't know how solid it is. Hopefully, it won't drop me or anything like that in midstream. So, and also for those that are trying to watch or do anything on Bitwave, Bitwave isn't quite working right now. So we're gonna have to make sure that you look into other platforms and watch me on other platforms. So hello to all the folks that are on the other platforms, such as Twitch, YouTube, DLive, Periscope. Check those out. Float. I think Float's not streaming either. I don't know. Float is kind of a hit or miss thing for me. I may have to drop that. Oh no, Float seems to be working. Float seems to be working now. Okay, it took a while for it to kick on. I didn't see it working earlier. That's Float as an FLOTE .app. So hi. As you can see, we have a juicy topic of conversation today. Pretty ironic that just the other stream I was pining and contemplating over whether I should even continue doing streaming or not, and then Milo comes out and kind of makes me rethink my rethinking again and go, if I wasn't streaming, I wouldn't be able to comment on this kind of stuff. Maybe I'm being a little too hasty. I don't know. Maybe I should wait this through a little bit and see if my decision needs some reconsideration here. Or I mean, I haven't even made a decision on that, so it's not like I actually made a decision. But just saying, maybe the thought of it requires some reconsideration. I don't know. We'll see. Because like I said, I said this on the last stream I did on Monday. I wasn't able to stream yesterday. Yesterday I was on the road. I mentioned this before on stream many times. I do a lot of traveling for work, so I'm not always in the same place, and sometimes I need travel time, and that means I can't be on stream. So, which is another reason why I'm reconsidering a lot of the stream stuff, because it at least the time, for example, like morning streams may not be the perfect time for it anymore. It used to be more convenient to do this in the morning. I don't know if it's convenient anymore. I may have to just do late night streams or something like that. Just kind of go back to what I started doing in the evening. I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of things I'm thinking about right now. A lot of things I'm trying to consider. And I gotta do my little social media blitz here. 1 second. I almost forgot about that. So, yeah, while I'm doing my little social media blitz, let's talk about. I mean, obviously, we're gonna talk about some news of the day as well. But let's talk about some stuff here that's happening in the news. Like one of the big trends that's happening today. We'll talk about Milo in just a moment, I promise. But I just want to cover one thing that I saw that's trending as I'm getting my tweets out and such to promote the fact that I'm streaming right now, that I'm live. So you got Merrick Garland, right? He's trending right now because I think today is the day that most likely they're going to confirm him as AG, as Attorney General. And everybody on Twitter is like, "Oh, finally, we're returning to a rule of law. Finally, we'll have someone who will uphold the law." Someone that is, that deserved it, that finally has his day, and fuck Republicans and this and that and all this other thing. Okay, fine. Celebrate all you want. Say fuck Republicans all you want. Give the Republicans the middle finger all you want. I don't care. That's fine. Celebrate all you want. But don't pretend. Don't pretend that for one moment that this individual is going to do anything good in that position. Don't pretend that Merrick Garland is a paragon of law and justice. Don't pretend that someone who lied in a confirmation hearing multiple times, didn't know how to answer questions multiple times, but what seems as dumb as a doorknob multiple times during the confirmation, seemed clueless and had no idea what he was talking about. Don't pretend that all of a sudden that is the Rhodes Scholar of legal minds here. And don't pretend that this is the epitome of like keen legal thinking and that he is going to do anything that it isn't just biased like every other attorney general or just fail like every other attorney general. It's not going to be anything different. He's going to be another pawn. Well, not necessarily a pawn. He's going to be he's going to take an active role and just doing kind of what Loretta Lynch did and doing what Eric Holder did. He's going to be another one of those. He's going to be a wingman for the Democrats. That's all he's going to do. And the thing, again, that's worse for me, more than anything, is the fact that he lied under oath. Not under, I think no, not under oath. It was just a confirmation hearing. I don't think it's under oath. But you get my point, though. The point is he lied in the confirmation hearing about what happened on January 6th. He called it an armed insurrection when there was no such thing. There's no evidence of that at all. Yet he called it that. I'm sorry. I hold people to a certain standard, especially if you're going into a position that requires dealing with the law and the Justice Department and prosecuting people and upholding a little thing called the Constitution. I imagine you want to be honest when you're in that job. You want to be truthful when you're in that job. You want to be impartial when you're in that job. That's just me, though. Maybe my standards are too high. I don't know. Maybe my standards are too high. What can I say? So, all right, here we go. Getting all my little posts out here. There was also this interview with Ginge and Cringe, Harry and Meghan Markle, that happened, and everybody's losing their shit over it because, I mean, even Brits themselves are like, this is bullshit. This needs to stop. Strip them of their royal title. This is just nonsense. Okay, which I find hilarious to be honest with you. I honestly, this is the only kind of comment I'm gonna make on this because I honestly, these people are too dumb. They create their own situation where they act and say things that are so ridiculous that they get criticized left and right for it, and then they want to play victim. They want to play the race card. That somehow it's not because they're morons that people are criticizing them. It's not that they're idiots and that they're trying to, they're basically insulting the entire royal family with every action that they take and every word that they're saying. It's not that. It's that other people are racist. And and these people, especially Meghan Markle, who basically is a gold digger, married a prince, and tried to tell people, I didn't know he was a prince. I didn't even Google him. No. You're a moron. Everybody and their uncle knew who he was. He is probably one of the most famous people on this planet. You knew exactly who he was. You're not fooling anybody. And we could just leave it at that. Because it is ridiculous to even think. It is ridiculous to even think that she would try and pull that. Give me a break. But anyways, I try to stay away from that whole thing with the ginge and cringe in the royal family, because honestly, to me, I don't understand Brits. The UK is a heap of trash as a country. It is garbage. What I see of what's happening in the UK, news reports that come out of the UK, it is an absolute nightmare. I would never, ever go there. You can't pay me to go there. I'm not going to that country. And on top of that, even before it became a cesspool, just the fact that there's still a monarchy, that taxpayer money still goes to these people for doing fuck all. I mean, they do nothing for the country. Except they help. The only people that they help as monarchs is the sun. The tabloids, they are the cornerstone of the English tabloid industry, because all they do is provide fodder for the Sun and other tabloids to write. That's all they do. So perhaps they have some use. They give some people a job, I suppose. I mean, seriously. That's their only utility in my view. Oh boy. But anyways, other things that are in the news cycle here. Let's cover that real quick, and then we'll get into the real juicy stuff here. So it seems like the Twitter, this is just in about 6 hours ago. Twitter is having a dispute, having a lot of disputes actually with a lot of different countries, and like social media in different countries are having a lot of issues right now. Twitter is dealing with India and is dealing with now Russia. It seems like Twitter is being throttled within Russia as retaliation for failing to remove banned content. But instead, the website of the Kremlin, Roskomnadzor, I'm not even sure how to pronounce that, and the Russian government have gone down following the announcement. So, I don't know what's happening there. But there's a lot of issues with Twitter going on right now. And apparently they updated their terms of service to basically like protect pedophiles. Defining pedophilia as like just a sexual orientation. I heard about this. I haven't looked through their terms of service to see if it's true. So I'm not going to claim that Twitter is run by pedophiles and that Twitter is protecting pedophiles. I don't know if that's the case. I had heard about that, so I got to look into that to see whether there's truth to that or not. If true, though, that's disgusting. If true, though, that is horrific. And honestly, I there's no lost love for me here when it comes to social media. To me, if Twitter went down tomorrow, I couldn't even care. And if India wants to arrest people that because they're not following Indian law and they're making it a criminal act to not follow certain things that Twitter is doing, I'm sorry. If India is making certain laws where certain acts that are taken on the part of Twitter employees are defined as criminal and they arrest them, I couldn't care less. In the sense of, to me, social media is such trash that, it doesn't matter to me. As someone who works in the tech field, that's concerning. And there's discussions to be had about that sort of thing, about retaliatory actions on the side of government for companies that have certain content on their websites. There is a discussion to be had about whether responsibility, if the responsibility must be on the shoulders of the platform or of the individuals posting the content, things like that. there's room for discussion for that. But Twitter has made it clear over and over again that they want to play both sides of the aisle. They want to pretend that they don't want to be responsible for the content, but then at the same time, they want to act like an editorial board. They editorialize their content. They act as a publication. You can't have it both ways. It's either one way or the other. Make up your freaking minds. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, you know. So a couple of little quick tidbits, and then we'll get into the juicy meat and potatoes of everything. So another thing that came out is the Secretary of Defense approves the request by the U.S. Capitol Police for National Guard to remain in D.C. until the end of May, like May 23rd. Does anybody really think that that lockdown, that fortification is ever going down? I don't think it's going down. They're going to continuously use the excuse. They're going to continuously use the excuse of, quote, threats. And they're basically gonna keep their dictatorship fortress up. Because they know that they are there illegitimately. They know that they stole the election. They know that this is a dictatorship. And they're scared of retaliation. They're scared of a coup. I mean, when you have government even interviewing your own troops because you're scared that your own troops are going to betray you, that's telling. And kicking out soldiers if you think that they are loyal to conservatism or Republicans or to Trump, that's very telling. Excuse me, I have to blow my nose. Okay. So you have that. This thing is gonna be dragged out indefinitely. They're gonna throw these National Guard people there, and they're gonna keep all the barricades up. It's gonna be something that's gonna be there probably. You know, I may be wrong. So my prediction that I'm making right now is probably gonna be wrong. I don't know. I can't say for sure if it's gonna be there for the entire first term of this dictatorship. Term. Whatever. Let's call it a term. The first 4 years, for which then they're probably gonna pull other election bullshit to get these fools reelected. So you're gonna have a military presence all the time. I think it wouldn't surprise me. I would not be surprised in the very least if that was the case. In all honesty, wouldn't surprise me at all. Another thing that was in the news here, excuse me, is that Trump made a statement about the Republican Party. So this is his statement. I'm going to just read it and then I'll put my little comment on it. So, statement by Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States of America. This was on March 9th. This was yesterday. He put this out. I fully support the Republican Party in important GOP committees, but I do not support rhinos and fools. And it is not their right to use my likeness or image to raise funds. So much money is being raised and completely wasted by people that do not have the GOP's best interest in mind. If you donate to our Save America PAC at donaldjtrump.com, you are helping the America First movement and doing it right. We will win, and we will win big. Our country is being destroyed by the Democrats. So, two things that I want to say about that. One, I still think that Trump is a fucking idiot. And here's why. You say you fully support the Republican Party in important GOP committees. Okay, fine. That same party that you fully support and those same GOP committees that you fully support are the same ones that stabbed you in the back. They fucked you over. They didn't stand up for America, for you, for anybody when it mattered. And Trump is helping them. I'm sorry, that's fucking stupid. On the other part of this comment, I do agree. I do agree that if these people don't have a right to his likeness and name and everything like that. So I think he has a choice to say, if you want to use my likeness and name and the political clout that he has now, because he definitely has political clout, like him or not, he is basically a permanent fixture in politics now, and he's a permanent fixture, especially in conservative circles and the Republican Party. I'll take a sip of my coffee here. One moment. Oh, yes. Coffee. But he pretty much is a permanent fixture now when it comes to the political ecosystem that we have in this country, for better or for worse. And these people already used him. Many of these people that are in office right now, they used him to retain or gain seats. And on top of that, they stabbed him in the back. So, yeah, he has every right to say, fuck them. They shouldn't be able to use my name and likeness to promote themselves, raise funds, get elected. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. So I agree with him on that one. I don't know how easy it'll be for him to actually implement that, though, and enforce that. That's the only problem. Unless, if he sends cease and desist, which I think he has in some cases, from what I heard, it really then depends on whether these people are going to obey the cease and desist orders. If they're going to take it up in the courts, it may be taken up in the courts. I don't know. It's an interesting thing to see how that plays out. So I don't know. I don't know how that's going to play out. I really have no idea. Last bit of news that I wanted to talk about before getting into the meat and potatoes of the stream here, of the title that I put there. NBA AllStar Game happened, like 2 days ago? And apparently it had record low TV ratings. Yeah, it was Sunday. It was a couple days ago. It was down 18% compared to last year. And it had below 6. It didn't even reach 6 million viewers. And my take on that is good. Actually, my take on that is it's not good enough. That percentage of drops of viewership needs to be higher, and their total numbers need to be lower. There needs to be less people watching that trash. Simple. Because it is absolutely ridiculous what these people say and do in athletics. The companies that support them, what they say and do, it's pathetic. They're all bought and owned, especially the NBA, bought and owned by China. You have LeBron James, who does nothing but basically lick the ass of President Xi. That's all he does. I don't know where the president of China ends and LeBron James begins. The man is a moron. And he's a pawn and a puppet for the Chinese government, and he happily does that because he's making millions off of it. Simple. So I can't respect that. I can't respect anything when it comes to that. If you're gonna be defending a government that engages in genocide and engages in human rights violations left and right, up and down, then no, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna. You can't gain my sympathy for anything that you say and do. When you think it's okay to round up people and put them in concentration camps for, quote, re-education. I'm not going to go along with that. That's ridiculous. And anybody who goes along with that, you're equally ridiculous. But anyways, moving into the meat and potatoes of what we're going to talk about here. Milo Yiannapolous is back in the news. I hadn't heard about Milo in a while. He kind of was under the radar for a while. He kind of disappeared at least disappeared in the sense that he wasn't in your face as he was several years ago, like back in 2000. I don't know, 15? 2015, 16, 14, something like that. During that period of time, he was freaking all over the place. He was on the BBC. He was on Sky News. He was doing all these tours on campus and campuses here in the United States. He was basically the king of political controversy and social media because of all the things that he would say and do and the protests that came from it. Because, God forbid someone exercise free speech here in the United States, because we can't have that, right? So it's pretty funny to me to see now that he's back. I mean, this guy lives rent free in the minds of the left. It's pretty funny. Anything he says and does, or anything that certain personalities like Ben Shapiro, Milo Yiannapolous, Trump, there are certain people that it doesn't matter what they say and do. Anything that this person says and does basically triggers a shitstorm of rage on the left. And frankly, it's funny. I'm not going to lie. The amusement factor is right up there. It's just right up there. But Milo, goodness me, he so this with Milo, this is what's going on. So he says he is now ex-gay. He is no longer gay. He's straight. He came out as straight. He says that his the guy that he married, his husband, has been demoted to a roommate, basically a housemate. He says he is sodomy free. And he has consecrated his life to Saint Joseph, and every day he does this prayer, and he does this online thing too to pray, and people can join in. And excuse me, sorry, my sinuses are just going ballistic. Excuse me 1 second. Okay. And no, I'm not getting all emotional over Milo. It's my sinuses, okay? So you have you have different groups with different takes on this whole thing. You have evangelicals, for example, saying, "Oh, wonderful miracle, wonderful works of God, converting people and everything." Oh, he also, speaking of conversion, that was another thing that he was talking about. That he is now like a devout Catholic. Okay, he's a devout Catholic. And he, like I said, he's consecrated himself to Saint Joseph, and he's doing a prayer and all that. And on a serious note, okay, regardless of what you believe about Milo, regardless of what you believe in terms of his sincerity, regardless of everything, anyone that is putting themselves out there, talking about they're trying to better themselves, whatever that betterment for them may be, which whether you agree or not that it is a betterment. Let's say you agree or even disagree with it. I think it's commendable to anyone to want to improve themselves. I think more people should do that, actually. I think more people should be able to have an honest conversation about themselves, an honest, hard look at themselves, and say, is this the best me I can be? You know? So if someone wants to improve themselves, they feel that having a complete lifestyle change is the way to go, so be it. You know? I'm not gonna criticize someone for wanting to better themselves and taking steps in what I feel may be even the right direction in his case. I feel that whatever steps he's taking, if he's dedicating himself to a more spiritual and religious life, as a Catholic myself, I'm not gonna sneeze at that. I'm not gonna say, oh, Milo, screw yourself. No, anyone as a Catholic and the Catholic Church, we welcome everybody. We want everybody to be Catholic. So if you want to be Catholic, please go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. I may not agree with you on certain things, or we may not even see eye to eye on a lot of things. But if you want to be Catholic, I welcome you into the fold of the Catholic Church, and as part and be part of this big Catholic family. Of course. Some people are not happy with Milo. Let's put it that way. Let's put it lightly. Some people are not happy with Milo right now. You have a lot of people that are raging over the fact that he says that he's ex-gay. Because some people are saying, well, you can't choose to be ex-gay. You can't decide you don't want to be gay anymore. Maybe not. Okay. I think that the judge and jury is still out on that one. Because there are situations where people, like, if I'm not mistaken, I may be getting her name wrong. Let me see if I'm remembering correctly. No. Oh, shoot. What was her name? Yes, Heche. Anne Heche. That's who I was thinking of. Yes. Anne Heche. Ellen's ex. Ellen DeGeneres' ex, because now Ellen is going out with Portia, whatever. I don't remember her last name. I'm not trying to be a prick or anything. I just honestly don't remember her last name. I just know that her first name is Portia. Anne Heche also said, she basically stopped being a lesbian. She decided to stop being a lesbian. So there are plenty of other examples of non-high profile people and several high profile people that were gay or lesbian. They somehow, one way or another, for one reason or another, stopped and said they're straight. Now the thing to me is this: it's not so much that I find interesting about these sort of discussions. I just find it very interesting that you have a community and a group of people on the left that have done nothing for the past several decades, if not longer, really, really, really hammer on people and get in the face of people, screaming at them, even physically assaulting them in several cases. You have to accept people. I'm here. I'm queer. Get used to it. Which is fine. Okay, let's not even get into that. But you had this whole thing about you have to accept people for who they are. You have to accept people. You have to be tolerant. You can't be a bigot. Well, does that not include straight people? Does that not include everybody? Why is it that only a certain class of people for that group are the only ones that they care about acceptance? If you want to talk about being like progressive and you want to talk about tolerance and you want to talk about a world where everybody loves each other, where everybody accepts each other, that everybody lives in harmony, why are you vilifying people when they're straight? Why are you vilifying people like Milo Yiannapolous when he says, well, I'm not going to be gay anymore. I'm not gay anymore. I'm coming out as straight. I've been sodomy free for almost a year now. I'm dedicating myself to a more religious and spiritual life. Why would you even hammer that? Shouldn't you, if you're going to put into practice what you preach, shouldn't you say, okay, you know what, we may not agree with him. We may not agree with him, but we will support him because we're trying to build a better world where there is more understanding, less divisiveness, and less hate. But that's not what they're doing. They have all they're doing is political. What they do is for political purposes. What they do is for a political agenda. Because if people really cared about wanting a better world, there wouldn't be this sort of criticizing of someone when they're when they say stuff like that. When they say stuff like, I'm coming out as straight, for example. You know? That's to me the crux of the issue here. It's not so much Milo per se. It's not so much that. It's a fact of, if you want to truly accept someone, you should accept them. Period. I mean, the stance, for example, that I have, and what the church has, for example, the Catholic Church and the Catholic view of things, is that you're supposed to hate the sin and not the sinner. I don't care, if someone is committing a sin of any kind, whatever that it may be. I'm not judging you as a person. I'm not saying that you're an evil person, you're a bad person, you're an immoral person, you're this, you're that. I'm judging your actions. If I'm judging at all, I'm not supposed to be judging, really, but I can judge. I can make a call on an action saying, that action, that's a sinful action. Doesn't mean I'm not going to have a meal with you. Doesn't mean I can't be friends with you. Doesn't mean I can't try and, we can't be civil and accepting of each other. It just means that I cannot support sin. So if a man and a woman want to have a child out of wedlock, for example, that's sin. I can't support that. Does that mean that every couple that's cohabitating, I hate them? I want them strung up by their toes. I don't want them to be in society. I want them to be, thrown into an island or blown into a different, blown onto another planet. No. Am I going to say you should not have kids out of wedlock because that is detrimental to society and to the children themselves? Absolutely, I'm going to say that because that's what it is. If you kill someone, am I going to pat you on the back and say, good job? No. Am I not going to try and show compassion to you if you're arrested for murder? And even if you're on death row, you know, you're still gonna treat them like a human being at least, of course. Give them a last rites or confession with the priest, and give them a last meal and things like. Still show a decent level of humanity, even if someone's a cold-blooded murderer. Yes, human beings are human beings. I think there's a big misunderstanding about conservatism, and especially Catholics, at least. I can't speak for other denominations because there are some other denominations out there that are really militaristic, and they're really fundamentalists. They're really freaking out there when it comes to certain things. So I can't speak to that. All I can speak to is Catholicism, because that's what I am. That's the faith that I mostly partake in. If only partaken. And to me, what it boils down to, in lieu of Catholic teachings, is that what I've said for a long time on stream. People that listen to my stream know what I've said. I've said this before, I say it again. That according to Catholic teaching, we're all the children of God, and we are all of equal dignity. That's really what it is. And as such, no matter how good or bad people are, you have to deal with that. You deal with the people and you deal with the sin, and they are two separate things, even though they can be quite intertwined. So, going back to this Milo thing. Now, people are saying that some people are claiming it's a publicity stunt. I don't know. I really don't know if that's the case, and this is the reason why I don't know if that's the case. For as flamboyant and crazy and controversial as Milo Yiannapolous can be, he's always been the kind of person, though, that when he says something, he wants to do something, he's always seemed to be a straight shooter in that sense. Like, it doesn't seem to me like someone who would say, my headphones are falling, 1 second. He's always seemed like an individual that is kind of like, this is what he says, this is what he does. He's a straight shooter. He doesn't really mince words, and he doesn't really bullshit you, in the sense that he doesn't say, I'm going to do this, and then he doesn't do it. Or like he talks about like when he was gay, past tense now, he would talk about stuff that he did. And you didn't have really a reason to believe that he was not being truthful to you about it. Sure, he was being very colorful about it, very blue, very unedited and unfiltered. But I had no reason to believe that he wasn't being truthful about when he was talking about actions that he engaged in, things that he planned on doing, his political opinions. So I don't have much reason to believe that he's bullshitting when he's talking about being straight. I know that Bitwave is down. That's why there's other platforms to stream on. I'm using it just to restream. One second, let me just type something here. So, so basically, I have no reason to believe that Milo's bullshitting. I don't know. I don't think this is a publicity stunt per se. like, I'm not in the heart and mind of that individual, so I'm not gonna say with 100% certainty, like, I know 100% he's being sincere. I'm not gonna say that. I can say that from if you listen to him speak at all and you've seen him in interviews, which I've seen a couple things of his. I was never an ardent follower of Milo. I was never an ardent fan or anything like that. Um, I have found some of the stuff that he said wildly entertaining, and it is folks like him and Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, Cenk Uygur, all these political like pundits. We can call them political pundits, even though they're not on mainstream. That's a good definition. Or title, or description. Actually, is the word I'm looking for. That's a good description for them. These non-mainstream political pundits. These are the people that kind of inspired me to do streaming like I do. Not that I expected to have any sort of following like they have, which I don't. But listening to their speeches and shows and interviews and being on different news shows and being a talking head on certain television programs, and seeing that kind of inspired me to say, if these people can do it, and honestly, and I'm not trying to insult them or denigrate people, but there's nothing special to them. There's nothing particularly special about Milo or Ben Shapiro or Steven Crowder. There's especially nothing special about Cenk Uygur. There is nothing special about that guy. But, like I said, I'm not trying to denigrate people or anything like that. But, I mean, if you see these people that have all these followings and these views and they are able to put their opinions out there, and at the very least, like I said, for me, at the very least, there's a sort of catharsis to this. It's kind of nice to rant and rave about stuff and just scream into the void. And then if people want to listen and like, great. If they don't, equally great. The only reason for me, for example, that I'm considering dropping this whole streaming thing is, one, it's a time thing, because I'm investing a lot of time and effort and energy into this. And believe it or not, I know, I mean, not that I have high production values or anything like that, but this does take time. I have to get news articles up. I got to read stuff. Not that I'm complaining about reading. I enjoy that. I do that anyways. I stay up to date with news. I stay up to date with the social media. I stay up to date with all this sort of stuff. But it does take time. And the more involved I am in talking about it, at least, the more time I need to spend on it. I need to spend a lot more time on it. I need to spend a lot more time getting my streams together. Things like right now with Bitwave being down and not working, and trying to figure out how to get things working on other platforms, and it becomes a clusterfuck, frankly. And I just don't have the time for that right now. Maybe if things change, I don't know. All that I'm looking for to make this worth my while is some sort of return on my investment. And I'm not talking about money. I've said it from the very beginning. I'm not streaming because I want to make money. I'm not streaming because I want to make a career out of this. Though, if it turns out that way, like if somehow things take off and I become the next giant influencer on YouTube or whatever, great. I'm not going to complain about that. But the intention was never really that. However, I am investing time and effort and money. Actually, I am investing money into it because I got to pay for, I pay for this microphone. I pay for my laptop. I pay for internet service, all that fun stuff. So there is an investment to an extent. But anyways, I'm digressing. Going back to what we were talking about. So it's Milo. About Milo. He says there was this whole it was like Life News was the source of the interview he did an interview with Life News, if I'm not mistaken, and he was talking about various different things. He was talking about how he views his acts and urges as like an addiction, for example, and that he takes it like he takes it a day at a time, kind of like an alcoholic. He says he wants to kind of rehabilitate the I guess conversion therapy kind of thing, about like if people don't want to be gay anymore, he wants to rehabilitate what that's about. He talking about how he just emotionally is in a better state. So I mean, whatever he's doing seems to be working for him. It seems to be doing a good thing for him. And like I said, it doesn't matter to me if he's gay or straight. I find it hilarious that some people are just losing their shit over it. And they're attacking him for being straight. Now, if the opposite happened, if someone came out as gay and they would attack this person the same way these people are attacking Milo, oh my goodness, they would be labeled as homophobes, bigots, horrible monsters of humanity or of inhumanity. I mean, it's the double standard. I think that's what gets me. I think that's what really gets me more than anything, is this double standard that is applied to people. Because it's okay to trash and it's okay to bash straight people. It's okay to trash and it's okay to bash white people. But if you do that to any other group, oh, you're the freaking bigot. You're the freaking homophobe. You're the freaking Islamophobe. You're the freaking racist. You're the freaking, misogynist, sexist. You're labeled as the worst scum of humanity if you even criticize what's it called? The drag queen reading time thing. You're the intolerant person. So I just find the double standard to be insulting. I find that to be insulting to a great degree, because all things being equal, you want to talk about being intolerant, then how about we address it honestly? How about we address it sincerely? How about we talk about, intolerance on all sides? We talk about racism on all sides. We talk about bad stuff on all sides. It is not conducive to building a better society if, as a rule, you apply two different standards. You can't do that and expect people to just go along with it and say, "Oh, okay. So if I'm white and I say something disparaging towards a black person, I'm a horrible person. But if a black person says something disparaging against a white person, there's no biggie. They're actually given a pat on the back." No, I don't think so. You want to be a racist asshole, you're going to be labeled as a racist asshole. I don't care where it originates from and who who it's directed at. Simple. I mean, this isn't rocket science here. But it's rare for me. It's very rare for me to hear anyone on the left, and anyone that, especially part of the LGBTQ silent H whatever, numbers. I don't even know how long that thing is anymore. Like, I have no idea. LGBTQ AARP, whatever, I have no idea. They keep changing that. I can't keep track. But the point is, I have never seen anyone. It's rare. I'm not going to say I've never seen anyone. Let me retract that. It's rare. It's rare for me to hear someone that is part of that community and someone who is on the left politically to apply the standard equally. To apply a standard equally, not the standard, to apply a standard equally when it comes to what is viewed as intolerant, what is viewed as bigoted, what is viewed as, quote, phobic. Because there's certain things, too, that are viewed as, quote, phobic that, in my view, there's nothing phobic about it. Me just not agreeing with a lifestyle does not make me, for example, phobic. I am not cohabitation phobic, for example. Just because I don't agree with a couple living as a married couple without being married. I think that it is better for the couple to be married. I think it is better for a child, if a child comes along with that couple, to be married. I think it's a better structure, a better familial structure, a better societal structure. I think long term it benefits society more rather than less. Perpetuating non-commitment or a commitment where you always have a foot out the door without any consequence to your actions, I don't think that's a good thing. For example, that doesn't make me phobic about cohabitation. That doesn't make me phobic about anything. That just makes me someone who looks at the situation, sees flaws in the situation, and I just call out the flaws. You want to label me as phobic? Then label me. Label me whatever you want. But the truth is, you know that it's not a phobic thing. When you label someone as phobic just because you disagree with them, I'm sorry, that makes you the intolerant one. That makes you the bigot. That makes you the bad guy in this conversation. Now, are there people out there that are straight up assholes and that are discriminatory and that will say bad things to people? Sure. There are bigots out there. There are racists out there. There are people that hate gays. Sure. No denying that. Of course there's people out there that are like that. But do you think that the wide swath of people that just don't agree with that lifestyle, for example, or they look at the situation like with Milo Yiannapolous and they go, oh, well, it looks like for some people, it is a choice. It seems like for some people, they can examine their life and go, I don't want to be gay, and I'm going to take steps to not be gay. Why can't we accept that? Why can't they accept that? I don't see why that's such an unacceptable thing. If that is something that is healthy physically and psychologically for this individual, like in the case of Milo, if it works for him, it makes him happier, it gives him more peace mentally, physically, and spiritually, why is that something that we have to demonize? Why is that something that, it's viewed as phobic or wrong or, hateful or anything like that? Why? And on the opposite side of the question, why do we need to validate everybody's life choices? It's not my responsibility to validate anything that other people do. If you do something good or you do something bad, I'm going to call it for what it is, and then you're going to have to live with that. I'm sorry, I'm not going to sugarcoat and filter myself and censor myself or just not talk about something because, oh, your feels. No. That's not going to happen. Simple. All I can say is this. I don't know Milo personally. Most people that criticize him don't either. I don't know his life story. I know that he has gone through abuse as a child, physical, sexual, and psychological abuse as a child. I know that he has very strong opinions. I know that he has been a target for a long time of scorn for being a conservative. I'm sure he's experienced scorn for other reasons as well. Maybe he experienced some scorn for being gay. I don't know. He actually said that his family was very supportive of him when he came out as gay to his family. So maybe internally in his family he didn't have a lot of issues, and he said his community in general really didn't. I mean, I think he said save for a couple individuals that, mistreated him. For the most part, everybody just accepted him and left him alone. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know the details of his life. I only know a couple tidbits from what he said in interviews. All I can say is that it's his life. It's his life. And if he feels that is the best choice for him, and if he feels that there is merit and value in sharing that with others so others can feel that same the same feelings that he is going through, and if he feels that this is something that is beneficial to others, share it, express it. People need to like freaking let go, okay, and stop the stupid political punditry all the time. I know that it's it's ironic that someone who does political punditry and whose stream is political talks about, not being political all the time. But honestly, you can't. If all your life revolves around identity politics, virtue signaling, everything is injected with politics, which nowadays everything is being injected with politics. It is maddening. It's absolutely maddening. And it needs to stop. This needs to stop. This injection of politics into everything needs to stop. So listen, I say for people like Milo, if that's their choice, they're happy with it, I say good for them. I encourage them to go down that path if they feel that that's the path that's best for them. If they feel that finding faith and religion and spirituality and consecration to a saint is a way, that's never a negative thing in my view. If a gay person wants to be straight and does what Milo did, for example, if some sort of therapy helps them, why not? I'm not going to say no to that if they feel that that's beneficial to them. So, good for Milo in my view. If he's sincere, that's great. If his conversion and his religious growth is sincere, then great. If everything that he's doing is sincere and honest and he's being truthful about it, then great. At this point, I don't have any reason to believe that he's bullshitting people and it's only a publicity stunt. I don't know. But I say good for him. And I think that it's high time that people have an honest conversation about this sort of stuff, because nobody wants to talk about this sort of stuff because you can't criticize certain groups, which is bullshit to me. Everybody is open to criticism in my view. There is not a group that is exempt from criticism. There's not a religion that is exempt from criticism. There is not one political ideology that is exempt from criticism. Nobody is exempt from criticism in my view. So let me check my chat here. I just saw a couple chats come through. So hey, Mr. E. Yeah, I know. Mr. E is saying that Bitwave will be down all week. It seems so, yeah. But I'm using it. The restreamer works though. Since the restreamer works, I'm using Bitwave to restream to my other platforms. So if you can't, obviously because Bitwave is down, if you can't watch me on Bitwave, I'm on Twitch, YouTube, DLive, Periscope, and Float.app. Go on all those other platforms, and I'm probably gonna switch some stuff around and go because I've had an offer to go on another platform as well and add it. So I may do that as well. So I may even add one more platform to the fold, to the pantheon of platforms apparently. So I get that, MZ. Did I call you Mr. E? I'm sorry, Mizzy. Mizzy. MZ. I don't know. I'm out of it today. Yeah, I know. We need to get people on the other platforms. Like if a Bitwave is not working, get on the other platforms. Give me more views on YouTube. Give me more views on Twitch. Because I need the views. I mean, for me to continue doing this, growth is really what I need. I need you people out there. If you're listening to me, help a guy out. Give me a follow. Give me a like. Hit the subscription bell, notification bell. Hit the subscribe on YouTube and other platforms. I need you. I can't do this without you. So your help is essential. Your support is essential, and I want feedback too. You know, I want to improve these streams. I want to be able to I want to increase the value of what I'm doing for you, the viewer and listener. So please let me know if there are times that you think are better for me to stream, better days, better topics to talk about. If if there are other things that I could do during stream to make them more entertaining. Even if I'm talking about politics, put something in the background, play a game. I don't know, anything. You know, I'm open to suggestions to see if this is something that I'm going to keep doing indefinitely. I want to make it worth everyone's while. It's not even just for me. Obviously, I want to make it worth my while, but I want to make it worth your while to watch and listen and everything. So, please follow, share, subscribe, hit notification bell, give me a like, smash the like button if you like what you're listening to. And on top of that, you know, if you do want to help me out in other ways, you want to buy me a coffee, the link is on the screen. If you want to throw me some crypto, you can do that as well. Like I said, I'm not doing this for e-begging. I'm not doing this to make money off of it. I appreciate any support, especially right now with this COVID thing. I do appreciate that. So any help is appreciated, but really follows growth, things like that. Yeah, Bitwave is weird on mobile, so I appreciate you listening to me on the go. Yeah, I'm sorry, the screen was far away from me and I didn't realize who was messaging me. My bad on that one. But yeah, I have considered consolidating a couple things and reducing even the number of platforms because I was thinking maybe it's worth focusing on one or two platforms at most. So I don't know. I really don't know. And if people have suggestions too, because you know, there's different ways to gain fellowship. No, fellowship. That's the word I was looking for. Fellowship on these platforms. There's different ways of gaining views and such. I'm open to suggestions for that too. Because, like I said, this isn't something that I'm so focused on that I'm making a career out of it or anything. But, like I said, if I'm going to do this, I do want to try and make it worth everybody's while. And I'm always curious to hear what people say, what their suggestions are as well. So, it's welcome. It's definitely welcome. And with that, I think we're going to call the stream to an end today. I'm going to try and get on tomorrow as well. These next couple days are going to be a little tricky for me because there's a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, I travel a lot for work. I'm doing a lot of stuff. So these next couple days are going to be a little tricky. We're going to try and get things situated and try and stream regularly. And I may rework my schedule for streaming. I may do like super late night streaming or maybe early evening streaming like I did before, but that, depending on the kind of on my work, that may or may not work out. That's the problem. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll think about it. I'll see what I want to do with it, and whatever suggestions you guys throw my way, please do so. Send me. I mean, my messages my DMs are open on Twitter and such. So if you follow, you should be able to just send me a message. So you can message me there. If you message me and tag me on Bitwave, most likely I will see those messages as well. So that's another thing. But Bitwave is kind of half borked right now, so I wouldn't really deal with that. I am on Telegram though. Actually, that would be another way that's very easy to get a hold of me. Because I am going to change something actually. Let me see something here. This was something that I wanted to actually fix because right now nobody can make a comment on my Telegram. Let's see. Where is the setting for that? I'm not seeing the setting for that on the maybe I have to go on the phone to get that corrected. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, please subscribe to my Telegram too. That's kind of a big thing because I'm trying to grow that right now. Oh, and there is one more thing that I just want to make a comment on. There's a stupid trend happening right now on Twitter that 75% of Americans support the COVID relief. Yeah, you know what? That's fucking bullshit. That is fucking bullshit. That 75% of Americans support this. Don't believe that for 1 second. I just wanted to say that because you know that that's fucking bull. Nobody supports this shit. They're just trying to make it sound like people want this to pass just to justify it. Because honestly, if people support it or not, it's irrelevant. Nobody gives a rat's ass about what the people support. And you know how I know that? I know that because when Obamacare passed, not even 20% of the population wanted it. But they kept claiming everybody wanted it and they kept cramming it down people's throats. So the 75% of people want this COVID relief, fucking bullshit. All right, don't believe it for 1 second. Because it is not true. Not true in the least. But anyways, with that, we're going to call it a day, kids. I want to thank everybody for watching. I'll try and get back on tomorrow, obviously, around the same time. And remember, kids, as always, don't be complacent. Talk to you soon.